You ever chase a story so long, it eventually finds you? That question whispered across veteran reporter Daniel Hawthorne's mind as he stepped into the gray Chicago morning of 2001, notebook in hand, breath fogging in the cold. His assignment seemed ordinary enough. An update on a decades-old unsolved community dispute resurfacing after new evidence was uncovered. A neighborhood fight over land, promises made, promises broken. The editor's tone was casual, but something about the case tugged at Daniel with an uncomfortable familiarity. He pushed that feeling aside and drove west, past elevated tracks, fading murals, and snow-laced sidewalks, the kind the city wore like old scars. He met the community organizer who had dug up old documents, yellowed newspaper clippings, unsigned contracts, and a grainy photograph of a young boy standing in front of boarded windows. The organizer explained that an intern reporter once championed their story, then vanished, never covering what came after. Daniel felt a chill, though the heater hummed warm. An intern? He asked casually. You know his name? No, she said. The byline was incomplete, just initials, but whoever he was, he cared. Daniel studied the clipping. 2 letters in the byline. DH. His pulse stumbled. Back then, he was David Hawthorne, his editor insisting the name was too stiff, shortening it later to Daniel for column flair. But that faded print, those 2 small letters, were his. He remembered the summer, the heat-reeking newsroom, his eager hands, his disappointment when the piece was cut short by budget cuts. He had always wondered what became of that community, of the boy in the photo. He returned to his car, the weight of time pressing down. Suddenly, this wasn't routine. It was unfinished business. He found the boy, now a grown man, painting a storefront, brushstrokes steady despite the winter air. When Daniel introduced himself, the man paused, eyes widening. You're him, he whispered. The kid with too many questions. Daniel swallowed. I never got to finish your story. Well, the man smiled softly, maybe today is your second chance. What followed was less interview, more reckoning, 2 people examining the echoes of choices and years. Daniel listened as the man described how that forgotten article lit hope in a forgotten neighborhood, how residents campaigned, built, fought, rebuilt. By the time Daniel typed his final line, dawn had shifted. This wasn't just follow-up reporting, it was closure. His article printed on page 1, but he didn't care about placement. He cared about the last paragraph. Sometimes a story doesn't end where your editor sends you home. Sometimes it waits for you to grow old enough to understand what you started. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.